Hello, my name is Emike Oyemade, and I'm so super excited to share my devotion with you for this week. My devotion is a popular story in the book of John, chapter 8, an encounter between Jesus and a woman who was caught in adultery. Before then, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been accused of something that you did not do, something that you had no idea of, and you were accused and you had no way of proving your innocence? Maybe eventually you suffer the consequences of something that you did not know about. Or maybe you even knew about it, you did it, but you didn't do it deliberately. You just found yourself in that situation, and here you are being accused. Now that's what happened to this woman in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 11. Now, let me give you a little background about this story. This woman was brought to Jesus because she was caught in adultery. In fact, the Bible says she was caught in the very act. So that meant that she probably was caught in bed with a man who was not her husband, was caught in this relationship, this amorous relationship with someone else's husband. So, and in these days, she was supposed to be stoned to death for that kind of offense. And so she was brought to Jesus. And her accusers who brought her to Jesus already had stones in their hand, ready to stone this woman. That meant that if they all stoned the woman, the possibility is that she could die. But they brought her first to Jesus. And Jesus was treating this case. Now, Jesus said to the crowd, "If there be anyone among you who have never sinned, you be the first one to throw the stone." Now, nobody threw the stone, so they dropped their stone and they left. This is what Jesus now asked the woman. Then Jesus stood again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" Verse 11, this is the woman's reply. "No, Lord." And then Jesus says, and Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." Now, the way the passage read could have meant that, well, because they didn't condemn her, that was why Jesus did not condemn her. That's not true. Jesus did not condemn her because Jesus' mission to the world was not to condemn anyone. It was not to bring anyone into judgment. And so here she is, while people were condemning her, Jesus was expressing forgiveness and love towards her. Are you in that kind of situation? The devil keep reminding you of your past failures, of your past faults, of your past mistakes, and every time you come in the place of prayer, you find yourself constantly asking God for forgiveness for a sin that you committed 20 years ago, for a sin that you committed 10 years ago, for something that happened 5 years ago that was absolutely not your fault, and you are still asking God for forgiveness. Jesus is saying, "I do not condemn you." The first time you ask him for forgiveness, that very first time, he forgave you. It is not your repetition of a prayer of forgiveness that erodes the sin. The minute you say, "Father, forgive me," he forgives you, and he does not condemn you. Unfortunately, we live in the same world where this woman lived, where everybody else around you condemns you, even when they are living in that same kind of sin as you. I remember a time when a young girl was pregnant, and she was about 16 years old, and she was suspended from the church. It was easy for her friends, for the church to condemn her, people to say things against her. I will never forget, because when I sat before her, I told her something. The people who are accusing you now, some of them are even doing worse than you. It is just in that manner because everybody can see that it's pregnancy. What about those who are doing worse things that you do not see? It is not what man thinks against you when you fall that matters. It is what God thinks about you. and He is ever ready to reinstate you when you make a mistake. He is ever ready to put you back. Do you think that God does not know that as human as we are, we will sometimes disappoint Him, we will sometimes fail, we will sometimes be feeble, we will sometimes get out of His way and fall short of His glory? He knew, and He made adequate provision for that. What is the provision? That when we come back to say, Father, forgive me, He does not just see us, He sees Jesus when He looks at us, and then He forgives us. My friend, don't deprive yourself of a beautiful life because of the accusation of the enemy. That is His greatest weapon. The devil wants you to believe that you are not good, you are not bad, that your past failures and mistakes are who you are, so he can continually have an advantage over you. Whatever it is of the past that the devil keeps reminding you of, my friend, put it behind and press forward to the glorious life that Jesus has for you. I'm wishing you a week of victory. I'm wishing you a week of triumph. If you would like me to stand in prayer with you for something you may be struggling with, feel free to send the DM, send the message, and I will be excited to just stand with you and maybe walk with you through your victory journey. Till I come your way again next week with exciting devotion, stay victorious. God bless you.